Door's welded shut. Sloppy work.
I'll cut it.
Guess Honecker went this way.
Okay, so about a week or two back, maybe a month, we did our first Hours Plays episode. And in that episode, our first game we went with was Aliens Fireteam Elite. And, saw really good traction with that on Rumble. So, thanks, guys, on Rumble. And YouTube, guys, what are you doing? Get off your ass and watch that video. It's an hour long, so I don't expect you to watch that. I'm just being playful. But anyway, obviously, since we were playing that, a review, it was coming for that game. Usually, if we do an hour plays of a game, you can expect to see a review of that game as well coming. Sometimes we might do a couple hour plays of games we've already reviewed, just to do some more with said games. But game side myself, today we're reviewing Aliens Fireteam Elite for the PlayStation 5. And yeah, I'm gonna get into it now. Okay, so first things first, yes, this is just Left 4 Dead and World War C and Back 4 Blood. I mean, it's one of those types of games where it's like I don't know what you'd call that type of game. It's basically just like Left 4 Dead, World War C, one of those scenarios where you start off with like a group of people and you need to get to some objective while trying to stay alive against hordes of the undead, or in this case, aliens. And I think it was called Earthfall. It was against other types of aliens. And so it's a type of gameplay process that I do actually enjoy, especially when there's some really great unlocks you can do with weapons. Like World War C kind of has that nailed down solid, and Left 4 Dead, was a lot of fun. But now it's with aliens. And aesthetically, it works surprisingly well. I mean, it's like, hey, what if we did Left 4 Dead, but instead of zombies, it's aliens? Like, just little gray men that, like, no, Singori Weaver aliens. Like, that could be fun. I mean, it honestly could. And, yeah, it has been fun. And, like, one of the things I really like about this is the idea that they really played with aliens being aliens, and so aliens literally come from all angles. With traditional zombie games, everything is on a horizontal horizon. And so, whatever direction zombies come at you from, it's either back, left, right, front of you, or a variation of those. But with this game, aliens come from the ceiling, they come from vents. It's more of like a 360 spherical area of attack they can hit you at. And so it builds for some really frantic gameplay, especially when they start swarming you. And so, yeah, really good genre to put that type of gameplay in with. It was kind of like a while back I did a review for Terminator Salvation, and I said surprisingly putting the Gears of War cover mechanics in with Terminator worked very well. And this is another case where having another game's kind of core mechanics, Left 4 Dead, playing with Alien, does work rather well. And one of the things that kept making me back was the customization of weapons and classes. This was the bulk of my replay with this game. It was trying to level up my character class and unlocking more weapons and attachments and whatnot. And the customization you get with this game is really, really neat. You get a lot of options for your personal character. You want to look like Hicks, you can. You want to be some sort of weird, crazy local from Austin, Texas with pink hair. You can do that in this game. And that's just your actual character. There's a lot of clothing options as well. More so for your head than actual bodysuit. You only get like maybe 4 for each class, but in terms of stuff you could do on your head, like glasses, hats, bandanas, and whatnot, you get a shit ton of those. And so that was really neat, being able to customize my own character. And just recently they added in like a new permadeath system, so that actually I might try getting into that at some point, although it is on a very hard mode, and this game is very hard. And there's lots to unlock. You have a lot of weapons that are initially behind a paywall. Not what you think. It's not actual real world money paywall. It's just behind, like, you have to get these credits in game. And like typically weapons will be like 9,000 credits, and you only make like maybe 500 credits per every game completion unless you do like special challenges. So yeah, it's going to be a while before you unlock all these. Probably a little bit unfair with the cost on some of the weapons, but overall, I can live with it. It's not as bad as some games like Avengers. And the new updated modes add a lot of replayability, especially the Horde mode and the Restock Turrets mode. I'd like the Restock Turrets to be tweaked a little bit so we could actually have a little bit more turrets activated at once, because you only ever get 2 like reloads per restock turret sequence, and there's all these like turret guns, but you can only restock them 2 at a time, and you get hit with a huge wave each time. So it would have been nice to have had that optimized a little bit more for a single player gamer, because yeah, you get these extra modes, and yes, you can play these extra modes solo alone with AI bots with you, but these modes weren't really designed for single player solo gamers, and so that kind of sucks. That being said, I really appreciate this game not pulling the stupid online only bullshit. You can play this game offline if you want to. You can unlock new weapons offline if you want to. You can unlock new skins offline if you want to. This is how you fucking do a game like this, alright? Are you listening? Destiny, Anthem, Division, Crew 2. There's so many of them, I can't fucking name them all. This is how you do an online kind of multiplayer experience that is you going up against AI controlled bots. It's how they did with this. You can play it offline if you want to. What a novel idea. So, Cold Iron Studios, thumbs up. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Big win right there. Big props for the developers allowing for offline play. And so, but that being said, admittedly, this is a lot more enjoyable playing with other people. I have to admit. That being said, I have actually played this with other people, and when you're playing with the AI bots, which I really liked that the AI bots actually are bots. They're like synthetic cyborg bots that will follow you about. So like, it kind of adds to the... It kind of helps pulling you into the world a little bit better when they do that, and I love that. But that being said, even though it's fun doing these missions alone with AI bots with you, it's a lot more enjoyable doing it with actual human players, because they have access to all of the cool little like sub-weapons. Like if you have a Demolisher on your team, they got rockets they can launch, and they have their own unique things. And if you're a technician, you could throw in a turret, giving you an additional gun with the 3 of you. And so it really is fun actually working side by side with other players online with this. And you don't really get that enjoyability or enjoyment when you're playing with AI controlled bots. That being said, I am glad they still had AI controlled bots. I am not saying that the AI controlled bots are not fun. I can have fun with this game with AI controlled bots. So thank you, studio, for doing that. And it is pretty difficult going solo. You want to start off on the low end with casual. Trust me. Starting off with normal, you're going to have to replay a couple of missions just to make it through that. Hard mode, I have not gone through hard mode yet, but I have gone through normal mode. Now, this game does load insanely quick. I only had to, I don't know, hitting the X button once it started going. I was maybe 10 to 20 seconds before I was playing the game. Like, this game does load very quick. The thing pops up, you hit XXXXX, getting you to when you're on the Sulaco type ship, and then you just have to start the game from there, and then bam, you're in the gameplay. And so I was really appreciative of that. I really like that, and really utilizing the power of the SSD on these consoles. And the game does look really nice. Lighting is great. I love the effects of steam in some of the levels, and the art direction is insanely gorgeous, especially in some of the levels, like when you're seeing this massive reactor, or you're in the temples down the planet below. Really great art direction, and it's very obvious that the developers had a love for the source material of all things Aliens and Ridley Scott prequel series with Prometheus and Alien Covenant. It's very obvious they had a love for those films, and so they utilize those every chance they get. And also, in some of like the text dialogue with some of the Marines you talk to, they're using references to like stuff from the comic books. Like, very obviously, these people were fans of the franchise Aliens, and it's great when you get developers like that. And of course, the audio is incredible. From the little beeps to the hiss of pipes shooting out steam to the aliens themselves. I mean, it feels like I am walking through Ridley Scott's 1979 Alien and James Cameron's 1986's Aliens. Okay, it just feels like I'm walking through there. So imagine having a pair of headphones on with the 3D audio. Oh man, that is crazy. Now, one thing I didn't like, it's a little thing, it's a simple thing. I did not like that I could not pause the game offline. I mean, I get it for an online multiplayer mode. I absolutely get it. You can't pause the game when there's other people in the game session. But when you're playing alone, offline, I would have liked the pause button, or the ability to pause the game. Because there's just a few times I had to go do something really quick, and by the time I got back, my character has lost all of its health. Both my AI bots dead, and I'm just being swarmed. It's like I have to restart the mission. There's no checkpoints in the missions. And so, you know, it's like, would have been nice to have had a pause feature on this game for the offline mode. That's all I'm asking. And then another thing that's kind of a hitch against it is that the story is really, really simple. It's not that deep. It's not as interesting as something like James Cameron wrote, or, you know, they did with the first Alien film. Now, to be honest, the developers and interview said, look, we weren't trying to do a really convoluted, deep story. If you don't want to do the story, you don't have to do the story. You can just play the missions and just enjoy the gameplay. It's like, okay, with that in mind, I guess I'm not that upset that the story wasn't amazing. So, you know, I'll give you that one. Now, something I really hope the developers would do. And developers, if any one of you are watching this right now, please listen to this. Please add in a first-person mode like they did in World War C. Okay? I know it can be done because this game is exactly like World War C, and they did it in World War C. And like, holy crap, this game would be so freaking awesome if it got a first-person mode. Alright? I mean, the pulse rifle and the Colonial Marine weapons are iconic as it is in the Alien vs. Predator video games, alright? I mean, the pulse rifle is an iconic weapon. And so, do you know how many more of these games you will sell if you offered a first-person mode for this game with all the weapons and customizable weapons you have? Oh man, I would probably jam to another hour's plays of this game if that mode was implemented, and damn, probably even review the game again. That's how excited it would be if this got a first-person mode. And a couple of people online have actually been able to convert the PC copies to actually show what a first-person mode would look like. You can see it on YouTube. It's really awesome, and honestly, I would absolutely love it if Cold Iron Studios would implement a first-person mode. Right now, they're currently working on the first paid DLC, which is Pathogen. That came out. I will eventually review that at some point. But overall, I had a lot of fun with this game. I really did. I didn't have too many problems with it. It did get a little boring after a while, even though I haven't unlocked every weapon. It's like you can only play the same levels over and over again so many times. And so, yeah, I will eventually get the Pathogen update, and I will eventually jump back into this game. So that's been my thoughts on Aliens Fireteam Elite for the PlayStation 5. It's also available on Xbox Series X and PC. My name's Christopher Carl with 11 Hour Reviews, and that will be all.